Hi, my dear students. Now, in this presentation, I would like to explain about the architecture of an 8085 microprocessor. In the last presentation, we have seen what is meant by an architecture, what is the need of a microprocessor, and what are the major operations of a microprocessor. All those are covered in last session, but in this session we have to discuss about the architecture of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so here this is the architecture of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, so the major building blocks of an 8085 microprocessor is resistors, okay, and next one is arithmetic and logical unit, arithmetic and logical unit. Okay, and next one is the instruction register, okay, and next one is the address buffer, and address and data buffer, okay, and next one is the increment and decrement latch, okay, and next one is timing and control unit, okay, and next one is instruction decoder and instruction decoder and a machine cycle encoder. Okay, and next one is serial IO control, and next one is interrupt control. Interrupt control. Okay, these are the major building blocks involved in this architecture. Okay, here this is first one is resistors. Resistor is nothing but here these all are the resistors. Okay, here accumulator is a resistor, a temporary resistor is a resistor, and a flag is a resistor, and instruction register is a resistor. That means, and all these all are the resistors. Okay, and next one is arithmetic and logical unit. Here this is the arithmetic and logical unit, and next one is the address buffer, next one is the instruction register. Here this is the instruction register, and next one is the address buffer. Here this is the address buffer and address and data buffer, and next one is increment and decrement latch. Here this is the increment and decrement latch, and after that the timing and control unit. Here this is the timing and control unit, and next one is the instruction decoder and machine cycle encoder. Here this is the instruction decoder and machine cycle encoder. And next after that a serial IO control. So here this is the serial IO control and this is the interrupt control. Okay, so these are the major building blocks involved in this 8085 microprocessor architecture. Now we will discuss each and every block in briefly. Okay, so the first one is registers. Here the first one is a register. So here a register is nothing but a set of flip-flops is called as a register. That means a register is a storage device. Okay, so the 8085 is consisting of a set of registers. That means an architecture is consisting of an array of registers. Okay, so in these registers there are 8-bit registers, 8-bit registers and 2 16-bit registers. Okay, so this register array is consisting of an 8-bit registers and 2 16-bit registers. Now these registers are classified into 3 types. So first one is the general purpose registers, general purpose register, and next one is the temporary register, and third one is the special purpose register, special purpose register. Okay, now we will discuss about each and every register. Okay, so now I will draw the register structure. Okay, now I will draw the register structure. So here this is the register structure which involved an accumulator, and next one is flags. Okay, so after that B, C, D, E and H, L. Okay, so these all are the registers, and next one is a stack pointer and program counter. So here this is the structure of a register. Okay, so here this is the register structure. Okay, so this is the register structure. In this, the registers are general purpose registers, temporary registers and special purpose registers. Now, so these are the, that means B, C, D, E, H, L. So these are the special purpose registers. Okay, these are the general purpose registers. Okay, and next a stack pointer and program counter. These are the special purpose registers. special purpose resistors, and accumulator and flag resistor also a special purpose resistors. Okay, so this is the register structure. Okay, now we will discuss about the general purpose resistors. We will discuss about the general purpose resistors. General purpose resistors. So in these general purpose resistors are BC, DE, HL. So the general purpose resistors are BC, DE and HL. Okay, so these resistors are called as a pair of resistors. Okay, so these resistors are called as a pair of resistors. Okay, so the combinedly these are the pair of resistors. That means these pair of resistors are the 16-bit resistors, but individually, so these are the 8-bit resistors. Okay, so individually, so that means B is an 8-bit resistor and C is a 8-bit resistor, but separately, but combining both, it is a pair of resistor and these are a 16-bit resistor. Okay, so the pair is very important. So here the BC is one pair and DE is one pair and HL is one pair, but BD is not a pair, CE is not a pair. So pair is very important. Okay, so B and C form a pair. Okay, so that's why these resistors are called as a pair of resistors. So these resistors are the general purpose resistors. So user can use these resistors. That means it can access the data and it can store the data by using these resistors. Okay, now we move to a temporary resistors. Now we move to a temporary resistors. Okay, so here a temporary resistor, that means here an arithmetical logical unit have two inputs. So one is from an accumulator, another is from a temporary resistor. Here this temporary resistor is an 8-bit resistor. Okay, so here this a temporary resistor is an 8-bit resistor. Okay, so a user cannot access this resistor and cannot use this resistor. So this resistor is internally used resistor. So this resistor is internally used resistor by the programmer. Okay, so by the programmer. So that is nothing but a temporary resistor. So W, Z are the temporary resistors. These resistors are stored internally in the architecture of an 8085 microprocessor. Now we are moving into the special purpose resistors. Now we are moved to special purpose resistors. Special purpose resistor. Okay, so the special purpose resistors are an accumulator. So accumulator is denoting with capital A. Okay, so an accumulator, and next flags. Okay, and after that the program counter and a stack pointer. Okay, so these all are the increment and decrement latch is also a special purpose register. Okay, so these all are the special purpose register. Okay, now we will discuss about the accumulator. Okay, discuss about an accumulator. It is denoting with a capital A. Okay, so here an accumulator is a tri-state register. So that means it will perform arithmetic, comma, logical operations, and load and store operations. Okay, next input and output operations, input and output operations. Okay, so one important point about this accumulator, after performing of an arithmetic and logical operations, the result is stored in this accumulator. Okay, so that means that the important point is the result of ALU, that is the arithmetic and logical unit, is stored in the accumulator. Okay, so this is a very important point. So next coming to the flag registers. Next coming to the flag registers. Okay, so the 8085 microprocessor has 5 flags. An 8085 microprocessor has 5 flags. So those flags are sign flag, it is denoting with S, and next flag is the 0 flag, it is denoted with Z. Okay, and next one is an auxiliary carry flag, it is denoted with an AC, and next one is the parity flag. Okay, so it is denoted with a P, and after that a carry flag. Okay, it is denoted with CY. So all these flags are the 8-bit flags, that means 8-bit registers. Okay, so now we will see the format of a flag registers. Format of a flag register. Format of flag register. Okay, so the flag register is an 8-bit register. So D0, D1, D2, D3, D4. Okay, so D5, D6 and D7. Okay, so here this is the format of a flag register. So the first flag is a sign flag, after that a 0 flag, and after that it is an unused flag, that means it is a don't care, and after that a parity flag, and after that an unused flag, and after that a carry flag. Okay, so that means it is a very important point, that is an 8085 microprocessor has a 5 flags. Those flags are the sign flag, 0 flag, auxiliary carry flag, parity flag and carry flag. Okay, so now, so what is meant by a sign flag? Okay, so sign flag is nothing but whenever the D7 bit is equal to 1, that means the sign flag is set. So when the D7 bit is equal to 1, that means the sign flag is set. Okay, so that means if D7 is equal to 1, that means the given number is a negative number. The given number is a negative number. If D7 is equal to 0, the given number is a positive number. Okay, so that is nothing but a sign flag. So sign flag is nothing but when the D7 bit is equal to 1, that means the sign flag is set. Okay, so and next after that a 0 flag. After that a 0 flag. Okay, so when the 0 flag is set, when the arithmetic and logical operations, the result is 0. Okay, so whenever the result of an ALU is 0, so then a 0 flag is set. So that means result of ALU is 0, then 0 flag is set. Okay, so otherwise the 0 flag is not set, okay, or non-set. Okay, and after that an auxiliary carry flag. So after that auxiliary carry flag. Okay, after that auxiliary carry flag. So here when an auxiliary carry flag is set, whenever you are performing of an addition or subtraction operation, it will generate an overflow. So when an overflow condition is occur, when an overflow condition is occur, okay, so an overflow condition is occur, the auxiliary carry flag is set. So this is important. So that means here we consider the two numbers. Here we consider a two number. So that is, so for example 1011 and 1001, and after that 1000, and so that means we are performing of an addition operation. So for example, so here 1 plus 0 is 1, 0 plus 0 is 0, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So here this is 1 plus 1 is sum is 0 and carry will be 1. So this carry is added to this next number. So that means an auxiliary carry flag is nothing but a carry will be generating from lower nibble to upper nibble. Okay, so here this is a lower nibble and this is an upper nibble. Whenever the carry is generating, this carry is added to this higher nibble. So that means this carry is called as an auxiliary carry. So this carry is called as an auxiliary carry. Okay, so here the nibble is nothing but what is meant by nibble? A 4 bits is called as a nibble. Okay, so 8 bits is called as a byte. 16 bits is called as a word. So I think all of you know it. Okay, so this is nothing but an auxiliary carry flag. So when this auxiliary carry is generated, when we are performing of a BCD addition, it will be generated. Okay, an auxiliary carry is generated when we are performing of a BCD addition, then only the auxiliary carry flag is set. Okay, so and after that a parity flag. After that after that a parity flag. So here the parity flag is defined as how many number of ones are present in the accumulator. So that is nothing but a parity flag. So for example, so I consider a number. So here in this number, so how many number of ones are there? Number 2, that means even. Okay, so 2 ones are there, that means the accumulator will count. So how many number of ones are there? So for example, even number of ones are there, therefore the even parity is set. So that means an even parity. So odd number of ones are there, that means an odd parity is set. So likewise, okay, so parity flag is defined as how many number of ones are there in an accumulator. So how many number of ones are there in the accumulator. Okay, so that means an even number of ones are there, so that is nothing but an even parity. So odd number of ones are there, that is nothing but an odd parity. So likewise, so next after that a carry flag, and after that a carry flag. Okay, so the carry flag is nothing but when you are performing of an addition of two numbers, it will generate an extra bit, so that is nothing but a carry. So when we are performing of arithmetic and logical operation, when the extra bit is generates, then a carry flag is set. Okay, so that means when you are performing of any arithmetic operation, an extra bit is generates, so that extra bit is called as a carry. So that is nothing but, for example, if we add two numbers, that is 1 plus 1 is nothing but here the 0 and 1 will be the carry. Okay, so the result is 0, the carry is 1. So when the carry is occurred, that means the carry flag is set. Okay, so in this addition we will call it as a carry, but in subtraction we will call it as a borrow. Okay, so but in 8085 both are we call it as a carry. Okay, so these are the flags of an 8085 microprocessor. Okay, now coming into the okay, so now come to the so up to now okay, now we are discussing about the special purpose resistors. So accumulator is over and flag resistors are completed, and next special purpose resistor is the program counter. So a program counter. Okay, so here the program counter is a 16-bit special purpose resistor. So here the program counter is a 16-bit special purpose resistor. Okay, so a program counter. So here I am already told the operation of a microprocessor. So what is the operation of a microprocessor? So for example, here this is a MUP, that means a microprocessor. Here this is a memory. Okay, so a memory, it will store a program. So program is nothing but what? A set of instructions. So those all set of instructions are stored in this memory. So for example, these all are the set of instructions. Okay, an 8085 microprocessor consisting of address bus. Okay, so data bus and control bus. Okay, so the program counter will be there in so microprocessor. So stack pointer. So these are the two. So what is the major operation of this microprocessor? So the microprocessor can take the instructions from this memory. So first of all, it will send the signal to this memory. So the memory will receive that signal and it will send the instructions to the a memory. So that means what is the operation of this program counter? A program counter can store the address of the next instruction to be fetched. So that means whenever we are performing one operation, and after that which operation is performed, so that address is stored in this program counter. So here the program counter stores the address of the next instruction to be fetched. Okay, so that is nothing but a program counter. After program counter, after a stack pointer. So what is meant by a stack pointer? Here the stack pointer is nothing but, that means here a memory have a set of instructions. So those all set of instructions are stored in this memory in a stack. So what is meant by stack? So for example, we will take some cups. So those cups are placed from 1, 2, 3. So likewise. So the cups are arranged from bottom to top. So that means the cups are arranged in a stack manner. Okay, so here the stack pointer is nothing but it will point the most it will stores the most recent entry of microprocessor. Okay, so that means here the stack pointer will stores the most recent entry. So for example here so here in this way I will arrange. So this is the first one, and this is the second one, and third one. Likewise, in a stack order we are arranging. So a stack pointer will stores the address of the most recent entry. That means this is the most recent entry. So a program stack pointer can store the address of this most recent entry. Okay, so that is nothing but a stack pointer. So the stack pointer is also a 16-bit special purpose register. Okay, so these are the special purpose registers. And next another special purpose register also there. So that is the increment and decrement latch. Another special purpose register is increment and decrement latch. So that means this increment and decrement latch is used for the program counter and stack pointer. Okay, so here the stack pointer will point the top of the, it will stores the address of the top of the stack. So that means the increment and decrement latch will decrement for this stack pointer. For this program counter it will increment the instruction. So that's why the program counter and stack pointer both are used in the increment and decrement latch. Okay, so that means the program counter is incrementing by the next instruction, and this stack pointer is decrementing to the next instruction. So that means the incrementing and decrementing operation is performed by the incrementing and decrement latch. So okay, and next after that we will discuss about the address buffer. Okay, so address buffer. Okay, so an 8085 microprocessor has a 16 address lines. 16 address lines. These 16 address lines are dividing into two parts. First one is lower order address lines and higher order address lines. Okay, So these lower order address lines are multiplexed with the data lines. Those are the D0 to DAD7. Okay, so here an 8085 microprocessor has a 16 address lines. These 16 address lines are dividing into two parts. First one is the lower order address lines and higher order address lines. So these lower order address lines are multiplexed, that means combined with the data lines, then it form AD0 to AD7. Okay, so next one is the higher order address lines. Those are the A15 or A8 to A15. So these are also an 8-bit registers. So this is an 8-bit register, and here this is also an 8-bit register. That means this is the address and data buffer. Here this is address and data buffer, and this is the address buffer. Okay, next we will come to the arithmetic and logical unit. Now we will come to arithmetic and logical unit. That is ALU, arithmetic and logical unit. So that means this unit will perform the arithmetic and logical operations. So arithmetic operations are add, addition and subtraction. So what are the logical operations? The logical operations are AND, OR, so XOR, clear, rotate. Okay, so all these operations are performed by this arithmetic and logical unit. Okay, next we are moved to next instruction decoder and machine cycle. Okay, before going to the instruction decoder, I will explain about the instruction register. Instruction register. So here instruction register is nothing but a microprocessor. Here this is a microprocessor and this is a memory. So a microprocessor can fetch the instruction from the memory. Okay, so that means the microprocessor can fetch the instruction from the memory. That means the instruction of an opcode is stored in this instruction register. So that means whatever the instruction is fetched by this microprocessor, that instruction or that opcode is stored in one register. So that register is called as an instruction register. Okay, so instruction register is nothing but when an microprocessor can fetch the instruction of an opcode, that opcode is stored in one register. So that register is called as an instruction register. Okay, so that means it will store the instruction of opcode. So here opcode is nothing but an operation code. So operation code is nothing but what are the operation to be performed. Okay, so the operation to be performed. Operation to be performed. Okay, so that is nothing but the instruction register. Okay, so after the instruction register, store this register. After that, this register will give the instructions to the instruction decoder and machine cycle encoder. Okay, so this is the instruction decoder and a machine cycle encoder. Okay, so after the instruction to be fetched from the microprocessor, so that instruction is stored in this instruction register. This instruction register will send the instructions to the instruction decoder. So the instruction decoder will decode that instruction. So depending upon what are the instructions are given by this timing and control signal, so depending upon that signal, the instruction and decoder will perform the decoding operation. Okay, so next one is a machine cycle encoder. So that means here the 8085 microprocessor has 7 machine cycles. 7 machine cycles. So that means what is the current task are performed by the microprocessor, that is nothing but a machine cycle. Okay, so this is the instruction decoder and machine cycle. So here one thing you have to remember, so after fetch the instruction from the memory by the microprocessor, so that instruction is stored in this instruction register. So this instruction register give the instructions to this instruction decoder. So this instruction decoder will decode that instruction depending upon, so what are the instructions are given by this timing and control circuit. Depending upon that instructions, the instruction decoder will decode that instruction. Okay, and after that this is a machine cycle encoder. So that means an 8085 microprocessor can perform 7 types of machine cycles. So that means what is the current operation is performed by the microprocessor, so that is nothing but a machine cycle. Okay, so and next after that a serial IO control, and next one is serial after that serial IO control. Okay, so this serial IO control is used for the serial communication. It has 2 lines, those are the SID and SOD. So this is nothing but serial input data. So serial input data, and next this is a serial output data. I am already told these 2 signals in the explanation of pin diagram. Okay, so these 2 signals are used for the serial communication. Okay, so SID is nothing but serial input data, that means it will receive the data. Okay, serial output data is nothing but it will send the data. Okay, so this is nothing but serial IO and control. And next after that interrupt control. So and after that an interrupt control. Interrupt control. So here an interrupt control is nothing but whenever a program is executing, a special condition will be occur. So that is nothing but an interrupt. That means we have to perform an immediate action to that signal, or we have to respond immediately to that signal. So that is nothing but an interrupt. Okay, so then 8085 microprocessor has 5 types of interrupts. So those all are the trap, and next RST 7.5, RST 6.5, RST 5.5, INTR, INTA bar. Okay, so these are the these 5 are the interrupts that are generated by the microprocessor. Here trap, it is a non-maskable interrupt and it is an highest priority interrupt. It is a non-maskable interrupt and it is an highest priority interrupt, and after that priority it is RST 7.5. RST is nothing but restart 7.5. So and after that priority is RST 6.5 and after that 5.5. Okay, so here INTR is nothing but interrupt receive. So whenever an interrupt is received by the microprocessor, after receiving of that interrupt, it will send an acknowledgement to the peripherals. So that is nothing but INTA bar, that is nothing but interrupt acknowledgement. So here this interrupt acknowledgement is an active low signal. Okay, so and next after that it is timing and control unit. Timing and control unit. Okay, so what are the operations are performed by the microprocessor is under the control of this control unit. Here this control unit is synchronized with the clock circuit, so that's why it is a timing and control unit. The control unit will generate all types of signals. So that means, whenever it will provide the signals to the fetch operation, and after that it will provide the signal to the decode operation, and also it provide the signal to the execution operation. Okay, apart from that it also provide the control signal to the, it also provide the control signals to the microprocessor. That means what interfacing of a microprocessor, that means what are the external devices we have to connect that microprocessor, it will also send that signals to the a microprocessor. Okay, so control signals to a microprocessor for interfacing. Okay, so interfacing is nothing but we have to connect the external devices, that means external peripherals. Okay, so now up to now we have to discuss the architecture of an 8085 microprocessor. This is the each and every block explanation. Okay, thank you.